I'm here as a representative of the All India Trinamool Congress, and I'd first like to begin by saying that on 27th February 2025, the Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal and chairperson of our party, Srimati Mamata Banerjee, was the first person to raise the issue of the duplicate EPIC voter cards. And we first met with the Election Commission on the 6th of March. We wrote them a letter. Since then, we have written them 5 letters, submitted a memorandum. The deadline for solving the issue of the duplicate EPIC cards by their own admission was the 7th of June. The deadline has since passed. Second, what I come to now, the reason why we are all here is this absolutely shameful and I would say display of puppetry by the Chief Election Commissioner yesterday at the press conference. The job of this Election Commission, which is the constitutional body with a constitutional mandate, is not to attack the opposition. Mr. Commissioner, sir, I would urge that you leave that to your political masters. I'm going to go very quickly, one by one, through some of the points that he raised and rebut them, so we can all see how ludicrous some of these claims were. Number one, the special summary revision, the SSR, concluded in Bihar in January 2025, and continuous revision was done till June. That was the list that had been signed off by the Election Commission. Yesterday, you tell us that out of 65 lakh deletions, 22 lakh were dead people who were not recorded. So what are you trying to tell us? That all the previous lists and the list on which the Lok Sabha elections 2024 were done were fraudulent, were incorrect? If that is indeed the case, then all of your election commissioners, your entire election commission, current and previous years, should be prosecuted, and this current Lok Sabha, which is based on fraudulent election lists, should be dissolved immediately. Because the credibility of the people's mandate and the legitimacy of this government is at stake. That's the first thing. The second thing, the election commissioner is going on asking the opposition for affidavits. What is an affidavit? Please understand, you can do a suo motu inquiry when someone raises an objection if your intentions are bona fide. We are only pointing out flaws in your own documents. Are you asking us to authenticate your own documents by an affidavit? These are your documents that have flaws by your own admission. You yourself said that 22 lakh people were there and they were not put on record, so that is a flaw. Can you, Mr. Chief Election Commissioner, put on affidavit that this list of 65 lakh deletions are correct? If this list is correct, then you cannot put on affidavit that the list with the 22 lakh deaths which are not put on record, all previous lists are incorrect. Either it is one or it is the other. You are asking us to authenticate your documents while you are publicly saying that they are wrong from previous years. The third thing, yesterday the list of 65 lakh voters has been published with reasons. Can I remind everyone that the Election Commission fought tooth and nail every step along the way. I was among the first petitioners on behalf of the All India Trinamool Congress against the Bihar SIR revision along with ADR. Every step of the way, the Election Commission said, we will not give you these names, we will not give you reasons for deletion, we will not accept Aadhaar cards, and we have no statutory obligation to do so. Today you are doing it because the Supreme Court has asked you to do it. Even then you are lying. I use this unparliamentary word lying because that is actually the truth. You come out and you say that there is a Supreme Court judgment which says it cannot be machine readable. Can I tell you that the 2018 Justice Sikri's judgment, Kamal Nath versus Election Commission of India, paragraph 24, I have the judgment here, only says, however, it is not necessary to go into this aspect. It does not say that machine readable will violate the privacy of an individual. That is completely incorrect. The next point, you say that there are 65 lakh people which have deleted. You have shrunk the Bihar list from 7.9 lakh voters to 7.24. But you refuse to answer any question as to how many of those people have submitted documents or not. You refuse to answer. In the list of 7.24, if 20 to 30% are unable to provide documents, that means you will delete another 2 crore people tomorrow. Is that the situation? The next one. How is it possible that dead people are in the draft list and living people are on the deleted list? How can a dead person be on a draft list? It can only happen because the BLOs were signing the form themselves. This is the only reason, because BLOs were signing the form themselves. Yesterday, the CEC said out of 65 lakh voters, only 28,370 have filed claims and objections. You mean to tell me only 0.4% of those deleted have filed claims and objections? Does that figure of 0.4% not tell you how ridiculous and how riddled with faults this entire exercise is? In just two districts of Bihar, Darbhanga and Kaimur, the BLO has marked not recommended to 10 to 12%. If we average this for the rest of Bihar, it means 80 lakh people will be marked not recommended and subjected to an arbitrary verification. So based on all of these, we can go on till the cows come home. But can I tell you, based on just these 5 points yesterday that the CEC said, this is ludicrous. It is not the job of the Chief Election Commissioners to attack the opposition. Your job, sir, is to go into great detail as to what the valid queries raised by the opposition was. Thank you.
Good evening to all. We have all assembled here to discuss or to convey to you a very important thing. The framers of the Constitution has entrusted or has given the Election Commission an autonomous power only to avoid any external influence or intimidation. Because it is the duty of the Election Commission to ensure fair and free elections. The core thread of democracy is that the common man has to exercise his franchise to elect the government of his intention, of his wish. Whereas now the Election Commission itself is under the scanner. We have to just think about the interview of the CEC, instead of giving clarification, has raised many questions. First of all, the CEC has not given any clarification or any comment about the recent August 14th Supreme Court direction that it should publish all the 65 lakhs voters and their details and why they were deleted. No reason for that has so far been given. And our next apprehension or concern is that why the CEC must be in a hasty manner carry out the SIR in Bihar elections. 65 lakh voters is not something very easy to consider. And it is estimated even much more, around 1 crore they say, but they say it is 65 lakh. We want to discuss it on the floor of the Parliament because the Parliament is the highest forum where we can debate anything. Even the constitutional authorities could be debated under various rules, and there are rules, and we are trying for it, whereas the government is not prepared. Here arises many questions which has to be answered and which is left to your thinking why the ruling party is not coming forward for a debate in the Parliament on SIR. And our other question is, how can there be so many deletions of eligible voters when house-to-house enumeration has been undertaken? Number two, why the enrollment of new voters is abnormally low when these young voters have been enumerated? Has any database been compiled to show how many youngsters who turned 18 on the qualifying data were included? No transparency in that, and the CEC is not coming forward. So also the procedure for inquiry and 2 appeals, along with their timelines, as contemplated under the Registration of Election Rules 1960, may include a huge number of voters in the forthcoming elections in Bihar. Is the ECI going to address the issue? And will the ECE take these practical difficulties into account while conducting SIR in other states? Because it has started in Bihar. It will spread across the nation. And we are very much concerned that the opposition voters will be deliberately removed by showing reasons, and whereas the CEC is not even has not even come forward to clarify or give an explanation to the Supreme Court's direction why it has not been obliged. So the CEC's interview, the Parliament is not working for all these days, not because we want to stalemate the proceedings, We want to be a party for the smooth functioning, whereas our genuine demand to have a debate in the debating forum is not allowed. And now that the yesterday's interview of the CEC, we expected that it would clarify all our doubts, but nothing has come out. So it has raised many questions again and again, and DMK has already given a memorandum to the Election Commission requesting that they have to remove the deceased voters. Have they done so or will they do so? All these questions are there. And as far as we, the opposition parties, are concerned, we will resort to all legal remedy as well as the parliamentary apparatus to solve this issue. So this appeal to you all, through you we tell the people that the issue we have taken up is not about individual political parties. It is about the common man in this country whose last right is to exercise his power during the elections. Whether he is rich or poor, educated or uneducated, he has a vote in his hand and he can elect a government. Whereas his voter itself, writing itself is deprived, means where is democracy? Democracy is in peril, and CEC, which has to come to the rescue of the common man's vote, now itself is under the scan. So we will resort to these means, and we have got our own responsibility. Kindly people should understand that the non-functioning of the parliament is not because of the opposition parties, it is only because of the ruling party which has not come, which is not coming forward for a debate. Thank you very much.
My dear friends, an imperfect voters list compromises the fairness and integrity of democratic discourse. We, the opposition parties, the entire spectrum, from left to TMC, from AAP to Congress, firmly believe that the CEC has forfeited his right to be in that constitutional position. And he has virtually declared war on the opposition parties by his press conference. I will remind him about the press conference done by one of his predecessors, Mr. T.N. Seshan, wherein he had said that I am not part of the Indian government, I am part of the structure of the Indian nation. That was the profound statement done by none other than T.N. Seshan. From the beginning, the government had an ulterior motive to make Election Commission the B team of the government. That was the reason why in 2023, the government brought in a law to circumvent the judgment of the 5-member constitutional bench of the Supreme Court. But I would say that yesterday's press conference of Mr. Ganesh Kumar, he was not speaking everything false or falsehood. One of the golden statements of Ganesh Kumar yesterday was that the country is full of homeless people and orphans. That's why you have zeros in the place of addresses and A, B, C, D, E, F, G in the name of the parents. So he has actually belittled the Prime Minister who claims that there are no homeless people in this country. But according to the Election Commission, there are crores of people who are sleeping on the streets. And we feel that the Election Commission is biased, selective and unfair. Anurag Thakur, according to him, is part of the Election Commission associate. When the journalist asks a question, why are you not responding to the statement made by Anurag Thakur? The response was that my response is graded. Doesn't mean that he's upgrading the status of Anurag Thakur from a politician's status to the constitutional body status. And isn't the fact that Anurag Thakur also had invaded into the privacy of the individuals. He talked about one lady, Maimuna, having 3 votes in Kerala, whereas the so-called Maimuna were 3 individuals in 3 polling booths. So we feel that there is a diabolic game to make the voters list adulterate from Kerala to Kashmir. In Kerala, the lone seat the BJP has won has been managed by unfair, fraudulent means. Suppose the BJP decides they don't have a chance in other constituencies, they will bring all their sympathizers to one constituencies and they will concentrate in that seat and they will win. So this has created a situation wherein we have no other option but to ensure that a protest is there so that the constitutional body adheres to the rules of the business. Thank you very much.